Alright, you guys, so this intro is going to be a little bit different than normal because I feel like I have a little bit of explaining to do. So even though there has been one video posted, the timeline for all of this is definitely getting a little bit kind of fourth wall breaking and kind of messed up because I'm actually like doing this voiceover the week before that video is being posted, which in like my real time, like current time doing this voiceover, I accidentally took like a 2-week break because I just haven't been able to get caught up in my videos on the way that I'd like to, and like have an extra video or two in store in case something comes up, and something did come up one week. And then when I went to export a video that I had literally spent the whole week working on, when I went to export it, my computer just kept going through this like death loop of like exporting and like hitting 100% and then not completing the export and restarting, and it was horrible. And so I had to try and figure out how to get the footage onto my tablet, and my tablet or my iPad is just a normal iPad. It's not an iPad Pro or anything, and sometimes the storage is really finicky. And so I guess all of that to say that it's been a little bit of an interesting last couple weeks. I took like a 2-week break, which was super weird. But if you want to sit down with me and watch me paint like one of my favorite sketchbook spreads I've done and just have a really good time drawing my favorite thing on the planet, which is my dog, Mac and Cheese, I'm Refluent. Feel free to call me Rory. If you're new around here, hi, hello, how are you? Let me know in the comments down below. I like to create dope art content and hopefully curate a chill atmosphere. And if you're not new around here, what is up, my dudes? Let's get into this video. So, as I just introduced, this whole spread is going to be about my dog, Mac, or aka Mac and Cheese, and I've done a couple of these videos in the past where I have made spreads dedicated to a couple of the rescues that I work with, and Mac was one of those rescues that I didn't personally end up adopting, but my parents actually ended up adopting, which is super awesome, and it's been really surreal and just super exciting. You know, there's this dog in my bed, like, sleeping with me that I used to think about at night and, like, sit and go, oh, I hope he's okay in his kennel. And I used to, you know, make a point of giving him these really nice soft blankets and fantastic toys, and I would take him out on walks constantly, and he's just my buddy. And, you know, my parents ended up adopting him, which just means that I get to be that for another rescue at the kennel, which is super awesome. So I'm currently favoring a dog named Phoenix, who maybe eventually I will make a sketchbook spread about, but for now we're doing Mac and Cheese, who is my baby boy, and I love him dearly. He is actually a Staffy or Staffordshire Terrier and American Bulldog and American Bully mix, which are two different breeds actually. So he's this sort of stocky, very pit bull looking in the face, and has that like broad chest of an American Bulldog, but he's just very goofy and silly and fun, and he's got a very I don't know, quirky personality. He makes me laugh all the time. He's very sassy, and I don't know, I get a kick out of him most of the time. Even when he's being a pain in my ass, I feel like he's doing it in a way that is just so amusing to me that it's hard to stay mad at him. He's just a very goofy, non-serious dog. He's obsessed with like peanut butter and peanut butter bones, and he loves to just lay on the bed with me and hang out while we watch Netflix. He's my little buddy. I don't take him on as many walks anymore, but he does love to go on walks. He loves other dogs. He has a sister, who I include in the other part of this sketchbook spread, so you guys will get to see her. And yeah, I had a really fun time painting him. I felt like I was going to put like a shit ton of pressure on myself to make sure that he looks exactly the way that he's supposed to, and I don't know, I really captured him, and I tried really hard to just do what felt right and just take everything I've learned and apply it to painting and drawing and sketching Mac and Cheese, and I actually think that it came out really, really well, and I'm pretty excited about the way that the sketches turned out, especially because I'm not super familiar with like drawing and painting like pit bulls, and so I really enjoyed kind of taking the time to learn how to paint and draw, and I guess just like render different breeds of dogs. I've really liked that I've taken the opportunity while I'm working at the kennel to use this as a way to I guess like advance my art skills and draw a vast array of different dog breeds, I guess. So actively, like, in the painting process, I used a watercolor called Goethite, I believe is the one that I used, which is this really gorgeous, like, muddy orangey color. I was originally purchasing it because I wanted it to look like this one color, I think called Fawn Ochre, in my handmade watercolor palette, and it's definitely way too orange for that. There needed to be more brown. Now, I might be able to mix the color with this and, like, burnt umber, so that's pretty nice. But, yeah, all of that to say that the colors that I'm using to paint MAC with are Titanium Buff, Naples Yellow, and Goethite from, the last one, Goethite, is from Roman Small. Wait, while I was talking, I just realized that's not Goethite. That is, oh my god, I bought it with Volcano Violet from Schminke. That's a Schminke paint, actually, which is why it's kind of throwing me that it's granulating, because most Schminke paints are very smooth, but this one in specific and Volcano Violet are made literally to have that granulation and texture in them. That is like Desert Orange, I think was the name of the color, which, like, oh my god, it's so pretty, isn't it? MAC, you know, he has these really gorgeous warm brown tones to him. Now, if I can figure out how to do it on my iPad, I'm not sure I can. Like, okay, so obviously I mentioned that I had some editing issues and exporting issues on my computer, and that's because it's like the world's shittiest MacBook. It's like the 2017 version of the MacBook, and if you know anything about MacBooks, you know that that version in particular was absolute hot fucking garbage. Just like the worst Mac ever. I got it because that was when I was going into college, and I went to college for graphic design, so I had to have an Apple MacBook, and that was the newest version. So obviously, you know, my dad and I, not knowing very much about Apple, went ahead and bought the newest version because my dad wanted to set me up for success. Except little did we know that that was literally the worst version of the MacBook ever. And so it's really sucked and been really difficult to use, and it's finally just totally kicking the bucket. And like I mentioned in the intro, it just was cycling from, like, constantly exporting. It was just this export death loop that my video could not get the fuck out of, and it was just driving me insane. And so all of that to explain that I am now editing my videos on CapCut on my tablet, which, like I mentioned, is not an iPad Pro, so I made sure it was, like, up to date on everything. I can airdrop, actually, my video footage, because it's normally under 30 minutes, to the tablet from my iPhone, which that's been very handy, but figuring that out was a headache and a half, because I had to clear storage and space and make sure that my iPad was up to date, because I'm not very good about updating it, even though it does have auto updates on, but I don't know, what's the point of auto updates if it's not going to auto update? But it's whatever. I figured it out, clearly, and I am currently editing on CapCut on my little tablet, but because of that, I don't know if I can actually layer footage. So I guess to explain, if you've ever done video editing before, or even if you haven't, when you open up the software and you import your media, normally there is a section on top that just has your video footage in it, and you just import your video footage, and then there's a section on the bottom that has your audio. And on the CapCut version of my computer, I could have as many of those sections as I wanted, but playing around with CapCut on my tablet, I don't actually think I can have, like, an endless layers of video footage over top of each other, which means that I'm not entirely certain that I can include, like, an actual photo of Mac, like, just kind of show it up on the screen right now. I don't think that I can actually do that, which is obviously a huge bummer, because that means that I can't really include, like, a photo of Mac, like, in of himself, but I don't know, maybe I will try. Maybe I can, like, smush it in at the end or something like that. But yeah, honestly, if you looked up, like, Staffy American Bulldog mix, that's exactly what Mac looks like. And obviously I'm trying my best to capture his likeness to the best of my ability, you know. I wouldn't say that, like, being super realistic or super, I don't know how to put it, like, precise maybe, or like rendering from a reference image that I'm like trying to capture something's likeness from isn't something that I've had a ton of practice with, which is another reason I've really enjoyed doing these sketchbook spreads about these dogs, because it's like I'm not just, oh, I'm gonna draw some bulldogs, or oh, I'm gonna draw some, you know, staffies or whatever it is, or huskies. You know, I'm actually trying to capture a specific dog's likeness, and I have really enjoyed pushing myself and trying to I don't know, go outside my comfort zone. I wouldn't say that I was super familiar with dog anatomy or like how to draw dogs, and you know, it was always so daunting because there's so many breeds of them. So just picking out the dogs that I use as rescues, or oh my god, use as rescues, use as references, being like my rescues that I love and adore, it makes it really fun to actually try and be like, oh, I want to capture that face, or, you know, like Mac, he has these strange wrinkly bits to him, so I wanted to make sure I had a sketch that was like referencing his weird neck wrinkles, and he's just like so strange and goofy, and specifically the two sketches that you guys have been seeing me work on this spread, excluding the one that has the little thought bubble about peanut butter. Those two sketches I feel like are just perfect. They capture him so well, especially that one on the bottom right corner where he's kind of looking at the camera like, what the fuck is going on? And he does this thing where like his ear kind of like curls over itself, and it's just like so strange and ends up looking like this floppy blob on his head, and I was just really happy with the way that I was able to capture those little quirky moments that Mac has. And you can actually see on this part of the spread, I have two sketches for Daisy, which is the other dog that my parents have. Now, Daisy, I wasn't and haven't been like super attached to personally. I wouldn't say that I had a very strong bond with her until very recently, because her and Mac now like to fight for my affection, because Mac is like, ooh, I love this person. So now Daisy is like, oh, I should love this person too. And so she pays a lot more attention to me than she ever used to, which I think is really funny. Daisy, though, she has this really strange habit of craning her neck in a way that makes her neck look like a fucking giraffe's neck. Like, it is so long. It's like it's detaching from her body, and she always does it like she's facing away from you, looking at like the window, and she's like sitting there or whatever at your feet, and then all of a sudden something catches her attention and her neck is like whoop, and it just like noodles up, and like it's always like slightly off to the side and cocked, and it just looks so weird. And I absolutely had to paint that in reference to her because it is just such a strange little quirk of Daisy's, and I just really wanted to add that into the sketchbook. And honestly, I was getting a little like, okay, I've drawn Mac 4 times now, I would really like to add, you know, I don't know, a different subject, something else to spice the page up. And yeah, so I really enjoyed painting both of them. And this little sketch here of Mac where he's like curled up into a little ball is something that he does all the time. It's really funny how small dogs can make themselves when they are just trying to like curl up and stay warm. I know that particularly the video that I made about the snake spread didn't do super well because I think the music was too loud, and I don't know, something happened. I kind of want to blame it on the exporting issues that I've been having recently because obviously they've been a little insane, and the music was never that loud when I was personally listening to it, but clearly it was bad enough for people to leave comments, which obviously is kind of embarrassing, but it's okay because hopefully I'm fixing it. But that being said, I really loved drawing this weird texture on the apple of that spread. If you haven't checked out the video, feel free to like, I don't know, like just give it a like, maybe skip through it to see like what I did and what I took the time to paint, because I was really proud of that spread and I feel like it turned out so well, but I just don't think that I can edit the video and export it on my computer anymore. Or obviously I would, so more people can comfortably watch it, but all of that to say, which, oh my god, talk about my new like phrase that I need to stop saying all the fucking time. But yeah, so oh right, in reference to with the snake sketchbook spread, I loved the way that I painted that apple. The like texture and the weird like layering that was happening and how I was kind of building towards the lighting on that apple. I had so much fun, and I really wanted to kind of carry that onto my future spreads. And so while I was drawing these little macaroni noodles and painting them, I wanted to go ahead and like keep in mind that layering and sort of like the very messy, painterly, almost impressionistic brush strokes, and because it is a little bit different than how I really am even painting and depicting like Mac and Daisy here, you know? I feel like I'm laying down some pretty flat colors, and I'm not doing a shit ton when it comes to large swaths of texture. I like lots of small little brush strokes. And so on the macaroni noodles or the apple in that other sketchbook spread, I had a lot of fun sort of combining those small textures with like larger swaths of I guess texture and flat brush strokes to really create this interesting layering effect, or at least I think it's interesting, and I definitely had a hell of a lot of fun doing it, so it's not going anywhere. So hopefully you guys think it's cool too. I kind of feel like when it comes to this spread, I was a little bit all over the place in like the order I was doing things. You know, like I start blocking in the color blocks in the background to activate that space, and I'm adding all of these swirls and just trying to figure out like, okay, when is enough? When have I added, you know, the kinds of details that I want to complete this sketchbook spread, and yeah, when can I like call it quits and, you know, let it be done, and when do I start inking? And I just feel like I was kind of, okay, I'll ink this, and then, oh wait, no, I want to add this, and I keep going back and forth and back and forth. And generally, I'd say that I try, you know, to, I would say like complete each sketch individually and or complete like each step of the sketchbook spread in tandem. So like I might try to complete each individual sketch step by step by step and like complete it and then move on to the next sketch. Or I might like take the entire spread and like, okay, I'm gonna do a swath of color on the entire spread, then I'm gonna go do details, then I'm gonna do more detail work, and then I'm gonna go in and ink the whole thing. And with this one, I was kind of just, I don't know, I was doing my own thing. I was all over the place. I was half inking and finalizing, and then I was like half still painting and half still adding details, and I feel like it was just, it was a little chaotic, but, you know, in the end, it does turn out really well. You guys will see I'll add like some little details off screen by the end to really fill out the rest of the page and just make it feel complete and cohesive. And I do think that I was pretty successful in, I don't know, not using too much filler and, I don't know, you know, like those squiggly lines and things. I don't want my entire spread to be built off of them because I want the sketches to kind of really take up the space. And I do feel like there is a little bit too much empty space on this spread, but that's okay. I'm currently working on another spread now, and I'm just absolutely loving life because I'm having so much fun. I went ahead and wanted to do like the muntjac deer spread again because I know I talked about in that video how I did not like the way that those turned out like at all. It was about as first time of a go as it can, and it went really weird and really bad. So I wanted to return to it and really just kind of take what I learned to apply it to my style and draw a deer like I like to draw a deer, because looking at that spread, they don't even feel like my own like style. It just looks so strange. I will definitely say that I am in love with the way that this spread turned out. I think that the way that I ended up drawing and depicting mac and cheese is like so awesome. I love this little doodle that I'm actually working on right now. Like, I think that this doodle turned out so well. It's like perfect. And then, like I already mentioned, that one in the bottom right corner below this one, I just love. And then you'll see the little details that I end up adding to really pull the entire piece together. And I just, I had a great time. If anything, I feel like I was putting a lot of stress on myself when I was inking these. I was like, don't fuck them up. Don't make them look weird. Like, so far so good. We've done so well. We, you know, sketched them awesome, painted them awesome, and now I need to ink them and not fuck up and make it horrible. And there was a lot of pressure there. I'm sure anyone who has started working on a spread that they really care about and like probably knows how that goes, because I've fucked up plenty of sketches because I don't know, my inking, when I started it went wonky and it never fixed itself, and then, oh look, an entire spread is fucking ruined. So, and now I would say that I generally mess up more during the painting process nowadays, because I'm still finding, like, my groove with that, but, it's happened plenty of times in the past with inking, and I just really didn't want to mess up this, spread, because I was so happy with the lines and the sketches, and I didn't want to lose what made me love them so much by going over it with an inking pen and then having to, like, kind of start over. Thankfully, though, I did not do that, and everything ends up kind of coming out the way that I want it to. You'll see I'll start to add some of those small details on camera here and just start filling the space, and then, as I already mentioned, I go in after and just add a few more details and just make sure that I'm really activating that space in the ways that I want to, and creating a spread that I'm going to look back on and really like, you know? Sometimes I feel like that final push can really just be a pain in the ass, and sometimes you just want to, or at least I do, I want to like throw in the towel and not do it anymore and just be done with the spread, but no, we have plenty to do, and we don't want to just go ahead and give up just because, I don't know, we're like close to the finish line, because this is the part where I can fuck everything up, and so I really need to pay attention and focus up and try my best, or at least I try my best, to continue to enjoy the spread and enjoy the process of making it. Just because it's almost over doesn't mean it actually is over, and I can't kind of lose that steam now, because then the spread will look like I lost steam halfway through. And so, yeah, so all of that to say that you're seeing me sort of do some of my final details, finish up that last little snapping mac, and, yeah. With this final look into my sketchbook spread, that is the end of this video. I really hope that you guys enjoyed it. I hope that the audio is okay. I hope that the last week's video was okay. Please give them both some love if you haven't already. Feel free to do the YouTubey things like comment and subscribe. If you don't know what to comment, go ahead and comment algorithm, because it really helps. And yeah, hopefully I will get to talk to you guys in the next one. Bye!